Hello everybody, it's Donna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is a organization, how I'm going to be organizing my stamp sets, my Stampin' Up stamp sets. Generally all my stamp sets were on what I call a twirly thing. It's beside my desk and it just kind of spins around, but it's floor to, 3/4 up to the ceiling. It came from my vintage booth that I had at the Pickering Flea Market, which is now closed because of COVID. So we brought it home and I'm putting it to use. And it fits everything. It fits a lot of supplies in a small footprint. However, my stamps are all kind of mixed in together. And I want to keep my current stamp sets, or the ones that are still available, separate from the retired product. This is how I decide to go about doing that. So I made up little labels to go in between each of my different categories, I guess. It was kind of hard to separate them because some stamp sets can go for birthday. They can go for, oh, there's a fly flying around here. Birthdays and go for different things. So it's hard to categorize them, but I can still flip through them when I want to look for something. And it's a lot easier doing this. I'm hoping this is going to work for me than it is to have them all kind of together. So they're going to go in these bins and they're going to go on another shelf. I will keep my current stamp sets close to me on my twirly thing. I designed them so they originally would fit in these shoe boxes that came from the dollar store, from Dollarama, which are fine, but there was a lot more space in them, so I wanted to take up less space. So I also had like the fridge containers. These fridge containers also are at Dollarama, but they're $3.50 each. So that was kind of expensive, but they do fit in here as well, right nicely. But these are $3.50. The white baskets are too, so I went with the baskets, and they happen to fit, so it was awesome because I bought these this morning after I'd already printed off everything. So this is what I'm going for. Can't quite see it, but I will have pictures at the end of the video of how it actually looks on my shelf. So I'm going to show you how I made these dividers up. There is several ways you can do it. If you wanted to print onto cardstock, you could print onto cardstock and then just cut them out. These are 8 1/4 by 5 1/4 because it would fit nicely in there in my basket. I cut them that size and sent them through my printer, and just with the Microsoft Word, I printed them out. You can also just use a label maker. My label maker was out of batteries, so this is cheaper, and this worked. I did laminate my cardstock. You don't have to. You could just have the cardstock. I just felt that because I have a laminator, it would work just fine. And I have the pouches for the laminator that I got off Amazon, really dirt cheap. I would not take this into Staples and have it laminated. It would cost too much. You can also just then print it on plain printer paper. I did have a sample of one looked like on printer paper, but I just found it was just a little bit more see-through than I wanted on printer paper. The printer paper, obviously, you would have to laminate it in order to get the stiffness. So there's several options that you could do. For me, what I did was, as I said, cut the cardstock down to 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. 8 1/2 was just too tall. It would be too much taller than the stamp set, I felt, so I just trimmed the normal sheet down. I'm not using Stampin' Up paper for this or cardstock for this. I'd rather use something generic and keep my good stuff for actual card making. So here are 2 of them, and as I cut it like this, sent it through my printer so my words were centered on the top. Sent it through my printer, and then we're going to laminate it. And then all I did after that was trim it out. That creaking noise sounds like an old boat. That is actually my laminator warming up off to the side. I did not leave it, once I trimmed them around, I just trimmed around the white. I did not leave any of the plastic around it. And it's fine because obviously it glues it on both sides, so it's fine. I didn't worry about measuring them again. I just trimmed them. I don't really care if it's off a little bit. It's not going to make any difference. Now, I did not use my Stampin' Up trimmer to trim them because I think that would just dull the blade too much. I used my heavy-duty Fiskars that I had to trim it. And I'm just going to send that through our laminator. This is just the Scotch laminator that's available on Amazon. Fairly inexpensive. Okay, so there's the last two I needed. This one had a little mark on it, don't know why. Those are the last two I needed for butterflies and dragonflies and other types of bugs. So I picked out, this was an old Celebration set, and then these ones are all butterflies. That's a B set, so that would go under bugs. And I know I'm going to have next year some dragonflies, so that's going to go underneath there. And then for this one, I'll probably need another basket for them now. I have quite a few. I think I calculated that I needed at least 8 of these baskets. I think I bought 12. Okay, and there you go. That's what they will look like on my shelf. And then I can very easily flip through to see them. Very simple organizing project. It didn't take that long. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next time. Haha, I lied. I'm back. My son was coming down the stairs, so I had to talk real fast. Sorry about that. But then I remembered I also wanted to do my dies. So I did my dies the same way. Now, generally, when I buy the dies with the stamp set, I actually put them with the stamp set. So the magnet goes inside this stamp case, and I store them in there. But some of them are generic, like they're just shapes, and those I just purchase separately the case, and then I put them on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing that, but these are the ones I use all the time. They don't match up with any particular stamp set, so I also decided to put those in one of these tubs as well. And I'm going to show you a picture of how they're stored, and they actually fit perfectly on this bookcase that I had in my craft area. I did do just generic dies for Stampin' Up, and then generic dies for other brands. Okay. One more thing, you see my ugly fingers? I have not been to a salon in a long time because of lockdown, and I really kind of suck at doing my nails, but next time when I come back, I might have pretty nails, because I bought this today. If anybody's used this kit, it's the Gel and Gel Nail Starter Kit. It comes with the light and all that. If anybody's used it, let me know how you felt about it in the comments below. Okay, honestly, this time, that's it. We'll catch you next time.